Still crying the same tears. From Emmett to Nolan, how many more years? Copper blood in these waters, Most High see us here. Peace be still, but the truth gonna appear. Emmett Till, young boy whistling in the store. White lies turned to lynch and dragged him from the door. Beaten, shot river, swallowed him whole. Open casket, mama showed the world his soul. Nolan Wills, 18, boat ride on the 4th. Only black in the circle, now they say he drowned for. Horn Island whispers, friends came back without him. Mississippi history, still hunting, still doubting. Same state, same pain, different name. Black boy lost in the Delta rain. When will it change? Lord, when will it change? Ancestors screaming, we never left this stage. 1955, Chicago boy down south for the summer breeze. Money, Mississippi, wrong place for a black team to breathe. Brian stole maybe a whistle, maybe just a smile. Jim Crow code broken, now they coming in the night. Wild Roy and Malone snatched him from his uncle's floor. Tortured that baby, fanti round, body in a Tallahatchie roar. Mutilated face, mama said let the world see. Acquitted by all white jury, not guilty, set him free. Sparked the movement, Montgomery rose from the flames. But the Delta dirt still holding black boys' names. Emmett was 14, just a child in his prime. Lynched for existing in a twisted mind. Emmett Till, Nolan Wills, Delta shadows ringing bells. Black life cheap in these haunted lands. Most High coming with justice in his hands. 2026 July 4th, independence gone wrong. Broke the Horn Island with the crew, singing freedom songs. 18 years young, big heart, only copper in the mix. Friends white as the judge that let killers walk in. 55 disappeared that day, body found on the shore 2 nights later. They say drowning, no foul play, but the family know better. Question swimming deeper than the Gulf, water's cold. Why leave your phone? Why the silence from the foe? Mississippi again, history echoing loud. Ben Crump calling for truth, independent, autopsy proud. Was it accident or the past rising from the mud? Black boy with white friends, trust issues in our blood.
Why the same soil claim my sons? Ancestor never left, we still the chosen one.
From Till's open casket to Nolan's unanswered call. In time signs, Leviathan rising, watch the fall. No hate, just black love, we hold each other tight. But stop crashing out on each other and demand what's right.
Peace be still,
Through the storm we prevail,
Father's child.
we shall not fail. Both in Mississippi, Delta's cruel embrace. One lynched open, one body lost without a trace. Emmett's killers brag after the verdict came. Nolan's story fogged in speculation and shame. 14 or 18, young kings taken too soon. Waters claim the bodies, but the spirit touched the moon. Same fear, same doubt, same racist undercurrent flow. But we wiser now, cameras, voices won't let go. Indigenous copper, mountain builder stand tall. We walk together, ancestors answer the call. No more silent nights, no more cover graves. Justice for Emmett, justice for Nolan. Raise the blade. Tell now, but our spirit never failed. We got black love, revolution now. Most High know my heart, make it right somehow.
Peace be still,
Peace be still. From Till to West, the story's still real. Let the world see, let the truth be free. Let the world see, let the world see. Let the truth be free.
All right. Hello, everyone. Grand Rising. Thanks for tuning back in once again to the original Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur show. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur, and this is your morning wake-up call. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. All right. Hello, Lillian X, Desmond, OG Snake. All right. Mr. Elevation is here. Pearly, Deronda, The Lounge, Nubia Ra, OG Patrice, Dangerous, Gregory. All right. Let's get into it. Everybody, please hit that like button. It doesn't cost you a single thing. Okay, I see you, Chris B. So let's get into it. CJ the Cat, daughter of Zion, is here. Keisha, We the People, Wayno is here. All right, Nessie X. Let's get it popping. Rue Pitt is here. Truth Brown. All right, so shout out to all of my loyal royals. I see you, 57 Beige Fox. Leon is here. Okay, Mel. Shout out to all my loyal royals and everyone tuned into the Queen, and a big shout out to my moderators because y'all know they be putting in work. I see you, Pretty Wings and Nirvana. Okay, so let's get this party started. As per usual, let's have a brief word from my sponsor at 12 Tribes. Here we go.
Do not buy 12 Tribes on Earth hair growth oil and hair magic elixir unless you want super healthy, gorgeous hair that grows. They have a whole line of amazing hair growth products, including hair growth leave-in conditioner spray, hair growth shampoo, hair growth spray, and hair growth butter. I'm starting to sense a theme here. They include quality natural ingredients. They smell amazing, and you can see the results for yourself. So if you're looking for healthy hair growth for your natural or relaxed hair, try 12 Tribes on Earth today.
Okay, so don't forget you can purchase 12 Tribes hair oil at Etsy.com. Just look for Lisa Crafts. You can also find her products at Walmart.com, and she sells beard oil. Okay, and so let me just give my disclaimer. Views, opinions, allegations, and accusations expressed by guests, third parties, or commenters are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the original Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur show or any of my affiliate channels. Content is presented for commentary, discussion, reporting, and educational purposes. Discussion of an allegation does not mean the allegation is true or endorsed by this channel. All persons are presumed innocent unless proven guilty in a court of law. Now, with that being said, let's talk about small town politics and these small town cover-ups. Okay, because we know it happens all the time. Because, like I told you all so many times, everybody knows everybody. We had the same issue in the Carmelo Anthony case. This chart shows basically how so many of them are connected behind the scenes. And I can only imagine what kind of conversations they've had. So let's get into it because a cover up doesn't always unravel because one person suddenly decides to confess. You see, but I do think that somebody is going to start speaking real soon. Somebody is going to crack. I can feel it. And sometimes it falls apart because too many people start talking. Too many stories start to change, and too many little clues, little breadcrumbs are left behind. In a small town, the very thing that might make a cover up seem possible can also become its greatest weakness because everybody's connected. Friends know friends, families know officials. People have grown up together, worked together, partied together, and protected one another for years. And let's not forget how Tracy said, in Ocean Springs, we stick together down here. And Warren said, yeah, we're close knit down here in Ocean Springs. We stick together. Now, I'm not saying this scenario is pertaining to Ocean Springs. I'm just talking about small towns in general. This is how most small towns in the South get down. Okay? Southern fried justice and good old boy systems. You see, that closeness can create loyalty, but at the same time, it can also leave a trail. Imagine something terrible happens during a night involving a group of young people. Now, at first, everyone seems to have a similar explanation, but as interviews continue, you start to see cracks begin to appear. Okay, please pay attention. Now, with that being said, one person, for example, remembers something that another person may have said never happened. Someone says an item was moved. Another admits that something was deleted, altered, cleaned up, hidden, or handled before investigators showed up. Someone acknowledges underage drinking. or providing alcohol to minors. Another person casually describes behavior that could potentially constitute evidence tampering, like messages being deleted from a phone or social media accounts being wiped out, without seeming to recognize the seriousness of what they just did or what they said if they admit to some of this. Those admissions matter because you see, people sometimes reveal the most important information while trying to explain themselves, which is why I keep telling you all that sometimes the truth is exposed through the lies. And then, of course, there are the digital clues: text messages, photos, videos, deleted posts, location information, phone calls, search histories, social media activity, messages between friends like group chats. Even attempts to delete information can become significant because investigators may ask a simple question: why was this particular thing deleted in the first place? Then comes the problem. Every coordinated story eventually faces. You see, memory is difficult enough to keep straight. A fabricated story can be a whole lot harder. And we should know that from just listening to Warren. Now, if 5 people are protecting the same secret, they aren't protecting one story. They're protecting 5 versions of it. You see, every interview creates another opportunity for a contradiction. Every public statement creates another timestamp. Every explanation can be compared with photographs, phone records, surveillance footage, GPS information, physical evidence, and statements made by everyone else. And small inconsistencies can become enormous. Who touched what? Who moved what? Who had the phone? Who cleaned something? Who deleted anything? Please pay attention. Who supplied the alcohol? Who knew that minors were involved in underage drinking? Who contacted whom afterward? Why did the police show up to the judge's house? Who called 911 and why? Now, I'm not talking about Judge Ashley Cole. I'm just talking about people in general. There are a lot of judges that I would imagine in small towns that engage in nefarious practices and even cover-ups, in my opinion. But none of those things alone automatically proves there's a cover up, right? You see, evidence can be moved innocently. Memories can genuinely just differ. People delete posts for various reasons related to other things besides guilt. Underage drinking, while potentially illegal, does not really establish involvement in some larger crime. But the problem is when multiple unexplained actions begin pointing in the same direction, investigators and the public naturally start asking harder questions. And the public tends to become suspicious. But when the law enforcement personnel don't seem so interested as the public, then people start to wonder, are they involved in a cover up? Okay, I just want you all to pay attention because that's exactly how it seems. That's exactly how it seems. And a successful cover up requires something that's very important, and that's called silence. Okay, it also, needs consistency and control. And this is why Warren and his friends, in my opinion, along with Rage Batum, Tap Dancing Tatum, are trying to control the narrative, plus these interviews that he's conducted. But sadly for them, during these interviews where they were attempting to control the narrative, well, they showed a whole lot of inconsistencies in their stories, things that didn't add up, didn't make sense. The math wasn't math, and quite frankly, they tripped up sometimes and said things that they likely didn't mean to say. You see, human beings aren't very good at maintaining all 3 of these things: silence, consistency, and control. People start to panic. Sometimes people brag. They inadvertently contradict themselves. People try to distance themselves from responsibility, which is what Warren has been doing. This is why Warren has said things like, I'm the first one that called the Coast Guard. I'm the first one that called Mrs. Christine. Javon didn't call her. They'll start to try to pat themselves on the back. And again, I'm not talking about them specifically. This is in general. I'm just using some of the stuff that they've done as an example. Please pay attention. Someone eventually says, that wasn't my idea. And then another person says, I only did what they told me to. And suddenly the attempt to protect the group begins turning into individuals who now only want to protect themselves. You see, that's when the trail really starts to become even more clear. Because sometimes the biggest threat to a secret isn't the person investigating it. You see, it's not us here on the internet. We're not the biggest threat to the secret. The biggest threat to the secret is the people trying to keep it. Okay, please pay attention. Okay, I want you all to pay attention because the biggest threat to any secret are the people trying to keep it, not those of us out here asking questions, okay, and trying to get to the bottom of it. Now, with that all being said, let's go to this video. If you all remember, was it yesterday? It was either yesterday or the day before when I read you all that journal entry. Okay, the journal entry where someone left a few little breadcrumbs, and we don't know who this person is. We don't even know if the information is substantiated, okay, if it's true. But it does kind of make sense. But this is a video of Secret Service Sam reading that letter, but he has a bit more information than I did because it looks like the version he has is just a tad bit longer. So let's get into it. Who sent this mysterious letter? Likes up, everyone, please. Like and share. Thank you in advance.
Letter. It looks like a journal entry that just hit the internet. Let me know what you guys think. It says July 4th. We go to the party, the island. We had alcohol. I may have drank half, if not a whole seltzer throughout the entire time. Was worried about returning for his second season, and he didn't want to ruin his chances. Cell service sucks here. Imagine something happening to you and not being able to call out for help. Nolan side eyes and dismisses the comment. Nolan snaps a photo or a video of scenery or something. Wyatt had been sniffing the bug shug all morning. Wyatt tries to grab his phone and has to put it, and Nolan jerks his phone because this feels like what would lead to Nolan's death later. Approximately 12 hours later, Nolan was already hanging on an inkling he shouldn't go to the pool party. Him and Wyatt have had some animosity for a while because Nolan was back and forgave easily and didn't hold grudges. He was the peaceful friend, the conflict solver in most of his social group. He had several, maybe 3 friends, grumps. I can't read the rest of that. Nolan was only put on the boat to be transferred back to the island around 3 to 5 a.m. July 6th. That's why he wasn't found initially on the island. He was stored somewhere cool and dark to keep from decompositioning a minute, but it was summer. He already started to have a hint of smell permeating the shaded area. It's an area of property him and his friends hiked or hung around in. And yes, it's one of his friends' properties. Somebody got a farm or hiking trail, maybe both. Somebody cried. Somebody is scared to speak. Somebody was threatened. All of them are being haunted. Nolan decided to unfriend this group and they couldn't accept it. The ultimate motive. Again, it's hard to read this letter. The writing kind of looks that of a female. I don't know. What do you guys think about this? Let me know in the comments. Permeating the shaded area. It's
Now, here's what I want you all to pay attention to. Here's what I want you all to pay attention to. Now, the other night when I was reading this to you all, I was thinking about the part where it says somebody cried. And then in parentheses, it says Wyatt or Warren. Somebody cried. Then it says somebody is scared to speak. And it says Eric. Is that why Eric put up the post and then deleted it? Somebody was threatened. And I can't really tell what that says. Everyone, each other. That's what it looks like. It says all of them are being haunted. All of them are being haunted. Now, let me just tell you something that I also noticed. So they said that Nolan was the peacemaker. They said Nolan was the peacemaker, right? Well, that's the same thing that Jax said in the Rage Batum Tap Dancing Tatum interview. Let's go to the footage. Lights up, everyone, please like and share.
Look at his reaction, y'all. It's Zindy reaction.
He was awesome.
So Jax, his supposedly friend, likes to paint a bad picture of Nolan Wells.
Yeah, Nolan's great. Like I'm saying, like most genuine guy ever. Yeah, I mean, like I said, man, I ain't never seen him like mad.
He was the peacemaker.
He was.
Is this allegedly the motive?
We would somehow become friends with the dude, even though he's getting with one of our other buddies' exes or whatever. But yeah, he was awesome.
So Jax, his supposedly friend.
Now I want y'all to pay attention. They said the same thing that the letter said, that he was a peacemaker.
Likes to paint a bad picture of Nolan Wells.
Yeah, Nolan's great. Like I'm saying, like most genuine guy ever. Yeah, I mean, like I said, man, I ain't never seen him like mad.
He was the peacemaker.
Okay, so they never saw him mad. He was the peacemaker. Well, I can absolutely believe it. But also, do you all remember I showed you this? He definitely was a peacemaker from the looks of it. Now, the person that wrote that letter, did they really know him? Now, here we have Nolan intervening when they were about to fight. And so definitely Nolan was a peacemaker. Now, that lends a bit of credence, possibly, to that letter. Please pay attention. Now let's continue. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. Something I also thought was interesting. Hold on, let me go to that clip. Yeah, here it is. Let's go to this clip from the Rage Batum Tatum interview, because Jack said something that was very interesting. Likes up, everyone, please don't forget to like and share. Thank you in advance.
He was 110%.
He was very
confrontational.
And when did this happen? Was this
really
on the night of the 4th or the next day?
This was the night when this was before they came and got the phone.
So this is the night of the 4th, yes.
So you had already spoke to Christine.
Correct.
Yes. And then you get a call that was hostile.
Yeah, and then Morgan handed the phone over to me. I was like, oh, let me talk to him, because I knew the guy. And I was just like, hey, like, he was like, where y'all at? Where y'all at? I was like, we're at Jackson's house. You know, it's like calm down. And then he hung up on me, and then
okay, so they.
No, I don't know for a fact, but I believe the person that called and demanded answers and hung up on them was Eric. I believe that person was Eric. Okay, but let's continue.
They pull up to my house.
Struggling with writer's block,
I'm kind of freaking out. We're all trying to put our heads together on where Nolan is. And I kind of like isolate myself in my room, just kind of get in a ball and just lose it kind of basically for a few hours.
He said, I kind of isolated myself in my room, just got in a ball and kind of lose it for a few hours. Now, here's my question. Why would they lose it for a few hours? Or why would he lose it? Why would he need to isolate himself? Also, he said we were kind of putting our heads together. Now, please pay attention, because the lies expose the truth. So he says that we tried to put our heads together about Nolan. Right? That's right. Rupert says instead of going out searching. Exactly. And it seems like they slept pretty well. We'll get to that in a moment. But he says we kind of put our heads together We're trying to put our heads together. And then he say he was freaking out. Hold on, let me go back just a second.
Yeah, and then Morgan handed the phone over to me. I was like, oh, let me talk to him because I knew the guy. And I was just like, hey, like, he was like, where y'all at? Where y'all at? I was like, we're at Jackson's house. You know, it's like calm down. And then he hung up on me, and then
okay, so they come, they pull up to my house, and at this point, I'm kind of freaking out. We're all trying to put our heads together.
Did anyone just notice how Warren handed off the conversation to Jax? Did you all catch that? That's not the first time I've seen them do that. That's why I'm bringing it up. Okay, because you notice how sometimes when they're talking, then suddenly they'll look at the other person and then that person starts talking. Now that says to me that they've each rehearsed this and been given different parts of the story to tell. Okay, because I do absolutely believe that the interviews are staged, and Rage Batum Fat Face Tatum has told them what he's going to ask before he ever even does. Okay, but let's continue.
On where Nolan is, and I kind of like isolate myself in my room, just kind of get in a ball and just lose it, kind of basically for a few hours. And they just walk into my house, you know, and I hear all this commotion going on in my living room, and I'm just like, what in the world is going on? So I walk out there. There's probably like 10, 15 people in my house I don't even know. And they're all up in our faces, going crazy, asking where Nolan is, and we don't know. And finally,
so I want you all to think about this. A whole search party showed up at their house, demanding answers. Okay, almost like a lynch mob, according to them. Showed up, 15 people demanding answers. Where's Nolan? What's going on? Now, why did all of these people immediately get suspicious? You see, because I want you to pay attention to when this was. When did they say this happened? I'm so glad you asked. They said the night of the 4th. They said this happens on the nights of the 4th. So that was before this even hit the media. People were already suspicious of them. Now, the reason I'm bringing this up is because at the end of the day, they've been trying to act as though Ben Crump and Al Sharpton are the ones that brought suspicion upon them, and also Mrs. Wansley. But people showed up at their house demanding answers. Okay, please pay attention. Why did he feel the need to self-isolate, and why did he need to just, freak out for a few hours? I have questions. I would think that's what you would do if something happened to somebody you knew and you knew who did it, or you were a part of what happened to that person. Yeah. And then y'all put y'all's heads together about Nolan. Yeah. Probably trying to come up with a game plan, what to do. Now, mind you, this is all speculation. I don't have proof of any of it. And I'm not making any accusations. I'm just throwing things out there.
they get into Wyatt's face, and they're like, where's your boat? Where's the boat at?
Demanding his address.
Demanding his address and stuff like that.
Now, here's another thing that I thought was interesting. You see, the friends, or the people who showed up demanding answers, did what law enforcement was supposed to do. They demanded to know where the hell that boat was because they wanted to go and search it. Now, why didn't the police think of that? Anyone want to venture to guess? Oh, that's right. Because if there is a cover-up, I'm willing to bet that Sheriff Ledbetter and the rest of law enforcement's down there leading the way, along with Judge Ashley Cole. Now, I'm not saying this to be true. I'm just saying if I had to bet, if there was, and I'm speaking hypothetically, but if there actually was a cover-up, I'd be banking on them to be the ones leading the charge, is all I'm saying. Okay, so you mean to tell me people showed up demanding answers, and then people wanted to know where the boat was because they wanted to search it, but the police didn't think to do that? Yeah. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share.
And he finally ends up giving it to him. And then let me go ahead and state that while they're there, we give them the phone. They have the phone at this point. Then they get the address to his house. Then they go to his house. And they're searching all over his boat.
Now, whose phone did they give them? Whose phone are they talking about? We give them the phone, and we give them the address, and then they go to his house. Whose phone did they give them?
what I heard and stuff like that. Well, anyways, I don't really know much about that, but they come back to my house at around 1 o'clock in the morning, and it's his dad this time. And his dad's being really respectable, really, really nice to me and stuff like that. And as long as another friend of theirs, and he's asking me like, where are the keys at? I don't even know where Nolan's keys are at in my house. You know how hard it is to find a set of keys in a house and you don't even know where to start?
Why wouldn't he know where to start? I'm going to move on, but why wouldn't he know where to start? I mean, it's your house, and if Nolan spent the night there, you know where he stayed. 9 times out of the 10, the keys would be somewhere in the house where he was. Okay? Please. Now, the fact that they were on the Xbox, supposedly, well, the Xbox was probably right there in the living room where most people keep their Xboxes. Okay? So clearly they were putting on. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. I don't believe a word that they say. I'm just sorry, I don't. Let's go to this next clip. In this clip, you'll take a look at the look on Jax's face. He looks like he is scared straight. Look at his face. He looks like he is just so scared.
The reason why Jax looks like he can't no longer take this is because Jax actually had a relationship with Nolan Wells, and Jax seen what happened firsthand, and he's being forced to keep his mouth shut to protect his younger brother, allegedly. I can guarantee you, and I can bet you any amount of money, Jax tried to stop it. Jax tried to stop it, and he couldn't because he is not as strong or as big as these other boys. Jax is also the weakest link, and Warren knows that. Jack has to keep quiet because of all the connections that Warren and his mother have. You got to shut up. You got to be quiet because his future's at jeopardy. His family might not be as wealthy, not saying that they broke, not saying, but when I mean by wealthy, I mean wealthy and connected as Warren's mama is, because she's a judge. Ain't no telling what type of dirt that Warren and them people got on his people. See how you got to start looking at things? He looks terrified. He looks like he was threatened. He looked like he was told what to say. And that's why Warren is watching him so closely. I want to make sure you're saying everything that I told you to say before we got up here. Don't say nothing else. Well rehearsed. Allegedly, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. And also, let's not forget how Warren bumped him with his knee at some point when he was talking, okay? Like to tell him to hush. And also, let's not forget their lawyer when he was on there, okay? Giving signals like a baseball player. Please pay attention. This is all crazy. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Let's go to this clip. I mean, they're just giving us tons of information from their own interviews, from their own mouths.
It was our best friend, and it's not what people are saying it is what hurts the most. I mean, that was our brother. I mean, straight up. That's what I told his dad the night that he came over to my house. He was like, blah, blah, saying something. I was like, dude, that was my brother. Like, and you know that. He knows that. We were picking him up every single day. He never drove. I can't tell you how many times I pulled up in his driveway and picked him up.
The pictures, when he came out of the room, half sleep or whatever, I think Jax or whatever. And I said, look, I'm Nolan's father. I'm here to get his keys so I can get his car. I said, he's like,
his car was in the yard.
His car's parked in the yard. So he was like, I don't know, man. Nolan's like my brother. I said, well, if Nolan was like your brother, would you please go in your room and see if you can find my son's keys so I can take his car home? He walks off, 2 or 3 minutes, come back. I can't find the keys. I said, okay. So at that point,
didn't ask for his phone, and his keys were not on the boat because his car was parked at my buddy's house where we had all slept, the night before the 4th. And so the keys were left at the house because Nolan's car was at my buddy's house where we stayed at. So of course he left his keys there.
the fact that it was our best friend and it's not what people are saying it is what hurts the most. I mean, that
Hold on, I want to see something.
every
Hold on.
single day. He never drove. I can't tell you how many times I pulled up in his driveway and picked him up.
The pictures when he
Hold on.
Like, dude, that was my brother. Like, and you know, and I was like, dude, that was my brother.
Now, let me tell you why I replayed that, because I wanted to see something. I want you all to pay attention. He just told on himself. He literally just told on himself. Now, here's why. Now, at this point, Nolan's body had not been found. Am I right? Someone correct me if I'm wrong. When the father went to pick up the keys and Tashima went to pick up the phone, at that point, Nolan's body had not been found, right? He said, I wanted to rewind it because I pointed out to you all weeks ago that the father said Jax told him Nolan was like my brother. I wanted to hear if Jax said that on the show just now as well. And he did. He was like my brother. He spoke of him in past tense. He spoke of him in past tense. This is a confession. Okay? That's exactly what this is. It's a confession. And you know what else is a confession? When he said somebody would have seen him scrambling around on the floor. Okay? Please pay attention. Nolan was like my brother. Yeah, that's what he said.
Where we had all.
I find it all interesting. He said it again. He literally said it again. He said it that night, and then he said it again. And they wonder why the parents don't trust them. Okay? They wonder why the parents don't trust them. Hold on. Like, step, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance.
How could that be a defamatory area the way it was produced? So what do you guys think about that audio?
Well, I can go ahead and say that as you posted that clip of all of us on the boat, you know, as it's rolling, not rolling, but right there sitting in the water, Wyatt's on the phone with Cito in that clip. I mean, he's on the phone. Wouldn't you think that you would have seen Nolan on the bottom of on the floor or something, or scrambling around, or everybody in a pot, like in a small space on the boat looking at him or something? I mean, it's just.
Now watch the boat again. Look at where everyone is standing. And remember Jackson's exact words about someone being on the bottom while everybody was scrambling around. I'm not calling it a confession. I'm asking whether his hypothetical description matches what we're seeing. Watch closely. Listen carefully. You decide. This is Free Press. We check power, not people. Stay tuned.
Okay? I'm sorry. Make that make sense. Okay? Make that make sense. Scrambling around on the bottom of the boat. Yeah, somebody was scrambling around on the bottom of the boat from the looks of it. A whole hand came up. Okay, a whole hand came up. And you can see it really good right there. Make it all make sense. But no one's been arrested yet. And here's another confession too. Please pay attention. They're literally telling on themselves. Okay, it's not us, it's them. They're doing everything to themselves. This is the worst cover-up in history.
The audio, and in doing that, created a transcript manually. It doesn't appear that the transcript was derived from an automated system or have any, in my opinion, real integrity with it. So what do you guys think about that audio?
Well, I can go ahead and say that as you posted that clip of all of us on the boat, you know, as it's rolling, not rolling, but right there sitting in the water, Wyatt's on the phone with Cito in that clip. I mean, he's on the phone. Wouldn't you think that you would have seen Nolan on the bottom of on the floor or something, or scrambling around, or everybody in a pot, like in a small space on the boat looking at him or something. I mean, it's just so crazy to think that, why would we call Cito if we have a dead body on the boat? I mean, why would we call the Coast Guard? You know, why would we do the things we did if we know we killed somebody?
I think people, regardless of who it is going to believe what they want to hear. They want to believe that my friends and I had something to do with Nolan dying.
Yeah, I want y'all to pay attention because Warren had to jump in real quick for the save. Like, dude was talking way too much. Warren had to take over the conversation and change it up.
And then they're going to believe that regardless of what you put out. But you put out, Brandon, that a clip of the boat when Wyatt was on the phone with Cito. And it is boldly clear that Nolan was not on the boat with us. You can literally almost see down to the deck. And as you can see in that picture, everybody is completely casual while Wyatt's on the phone with Cito. Yeah, we were scrambling around trying to get the boat fixed, but the guys were, in the video, you'd see me, I'm sitting on the bow. If there was someone dying on the boat, why would everybody just be sitting there waiting to either get towed in or in the first place, like Jack said, why would Wyatt call Cito?
You called them, but you didn't have them to come. You canceled it, so that's why.
It's crazy. The reason we turned down Coast Guard is, why would we call Coast Guard if Cito could pull us in? But we fixed the boat and we ran into Fort Bayou, and that's it. The Cito call was completely enhanced, and these people just want to believe what they want to hear. And that's exactly what they're doing. So,
another confession. He said the Cito call was completely enhanced, and these people believe what they want to believe. Well, of course we do. We believe our ears. We believe what we heard. Okay? And we know what we heard, and clearly you do too. But what he didn't do is deny it. He didn't deny it. He didn't say, oh, nobody said, no, wake the F up. Oh, somebody check his chest. He didn't deny any of those things. He just said the call was completely enhanced. Okay?
It's just crazy to me that people have tried to twist this and twist the audio. When we came out with the first interview, it debunked half these lies, and now you don't hear about any of it. You don't hear about the pool party because it was on June 27th. You don't hear about anything else that was mentioned. Thousands of lies. And now
let me just tell you all something where he tried to run game right here. I peeped this, right? So he said they debunked so many lies when they came out with the first interview. Now you don't hear about any of it. He said you don't hear about the pool party because it was the 27th. Well, here's the thing. That's the only thing we don't hear about. Notice he never named one other thing that we don't hear about. Okay? Notice he named something that, of course, we stopped talking about weeks ago. But he couldn't name anything else. He said thousands of lies. But out of the thousands of lies, please tell us what else you can name, because you can't name anything. That's why, because there isn't thousands of lies. What it looks like is there's thousands of receipts. And this is the thing. He's good at Darvo. They all are. Deny, attack, reverse victim, and offender. It's a manipulative behavior pattern, like I told you all before. A deflection tactic used by people, okay, and mostly narcissists, which I absolutely have told you that I believe Warren is. And so when they're confronted with their bad behavior, instead of taking responsibility, the wrongdoer instead tries to turn the tables to make the victim look like they're at fault. Now, in this case, the victim is Nolan. And what have they done? They've said that Nolan was drunk that day, moving slow, like he could barely walk. Slurred words. Then they come out talking about illegal substances. See, that's what they do. Pay attention.
The audio comes back, and all of a sudden we can hear Nolan yelling in the background, screaming. We're screaming about how he's dead. That's just a complete lie, and it's a
to the audio.
He said you could hear Nolan in the background. I don't think anyone said that we could hear Nolan in the background, but y'all were screaming about how he's dead. Okay, they absolutely were screaming about that. Nolan's about to die. Isn't that what we heard them say? Let's just keep going. It's getting worse and worse for them as the days go. I don't even know. Betty Boop said he's Darvo squared, okay? To the umpteenth power.
Did Nolan Wells' friends say too much in their second interview? And is Jax the ringleader of them all? This is all alleged, but I gotta get into it. Let's go.
I told y'all that Jax was the ringleader. I told y'all. He sat in this interview and he was telling stories about shit that he wasn't even there to witness. So let's break down some of the stuff that I heard in this interview. Let's start with Warren's first phone call, because y'all will remember that Warren said that he was over at Ava's house for that 4th of July party when they all started realizing that Nolan was missing, and he called Miss Christine at 11 o'clock.
One of the first things I told Miss Christine Wells in the first phone call that ever occurred with anything to do with Nolan Wells being gone, because I was the first person to call Miss Christine about anything. First phone call, anything to do with Nolan Wells, was me making a phone call to Christine Wells. And one of the first things I said to her, with multiple witnesses here, pull up the phone call if you want. She said, oh, well, Nolan's location is with y'all at, where the house we were at. And I was like, well, no, he left his phone with us. I told her this.
And yesterday, the same time that this interview came out, Christine Wells said this.
360 says that he's on land, and he was like, well, no, I mean, when we have his phone.
So both versions of the story say that Warren didn't tell her about the phone until after she confronted him with the 360. Now, Warren tells Miss Christine that he knows somebody in the Coast Guard and that he's going to call them, which is very fucking different than calling the Coast Guard, which absolutely explains why the Coast Guard came out and said it first.
Now, remember, I pointed this out to you all days ago. Excuse me. I told you that the reason the Coast Guard had to come back and change the story is because Warren didn't call the Coast Guard. He called a personal friend of his that he knows who works at the Coast Guard. Okay, so that's why it wasn't in the report 9 times out of 10. And see, these people all work in tandem, like I told you all.
That they had not received a call from that night. Because the initial data didn't until 12:30. Then the Coast Guard changed their story and said, oh, wait, actually you did. It seems to me that the first call was most likely a
Okay, that's weird. Did y'all see that? It says having trouble playing this video. Isn't that strange? I find it all interesting. Let me see if I can pull it back up. I'll just skip that for now, but let's go to the call that was made when they were on the way to the judge's house. Likes up, everyone, please like and share.
We're en route to the judge's house now. You said y'all are en route to the judge's house or from the judge's house? En route to the judge's house. Destin 4, I keyed up on you. Appreciate it. 10-4.
32, finish up with whatever you got and get down here.
Currently dealing with a potential missing person.
Do you have all the information from the 1050?
10-4.
I'm 1024, 108, and me J2.
10-4.
Negative. We're en route to the judge's house now. You said y'all are en route to the judge's house?
Now, why were they going to the judge's house that night? Okay, I have several questions. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. Let's go to this clip with Kimberly.
And you are still on these kids' side after you see what these people are doing to avoid any type of accountability. Something is on. You need your fucking screws checked, son. Because in the beginning, it was a little but by now, almost going into 2 months later, with all of this uncooperative behavior, them taking the neck, them won't let us look at the phones, all of this fucking bullshit. They never went and searched the boats. They never did their jobs. Y'all, anybody with a brain has to start waking up by now. You have to start going, wait, something's going on. If this was just a little drowning, if this was just a little accidental drowning, they wouldn't be doing all this. If you don't fucking have the capacity to put this together, we don't need you on the planet. Your fucking species needs to go extinct. Because anybody with half a brain can see they trying to fucking stall, cover shit up, lie, and fucking make up any excuse they can. If you fucking have
And that all sounds absolutely accurate, okay, in my opinion. It's exactly what it seems like. Okay, that's exactly what it seems like. Like so, everyone, please like and share. Now, I don't know what this next video is. Someone sent it to me, so let's check it out. Likes up.
Oh. You know, tritons are built to hold massive amount of fish. As you can see in this picture of the triton, that's his leg compared to the door, y'all. Just in this area alone, that is deep enough and long enough to place a body.
Wouldn't you think that you would have seen on the bottom of on the floor or something?
Look at their fucking body language.
Or scrambling around, or everybody in a pot, like in a small space on the boat looking at him.
Morgan tenses up and starts shaking his leg, and you can see his face, and he immediately looks over.
Like, wouldn't you think that you would have seen on the bottom of on the floor or something? Or scrambling around, or everybody in a pot, like in a small space on the boat looking at him.
Warren is staring.
Warren, you breathing pretty hard there, Bob.
Wouldn't you think that you would have seen on the bottom on the floor or something? Or scrambling around, or everybody in a pot, like in a small space on the boat looking at him.
In my last video, I show you that there's 2 doors up under here, as you can see up under Wyatt's brother. Specifically, some up to 6.5 feet long. Nolan Wells was 6'1". I find it fucking creepy that you would say something like that, Jax. I mean, you said it. Another photo of the triton. I did notice the sticker's different. This one is green, but it could be changed every so often. Oh yeah, look at this. Wyatt's brother Ike has a fishing account. He named it the Fish Killing Machine, but better yet, he states that I have a lot of connections on the Gulf Coast from Alabama to Louisiana. So I guess that allegedly makes sense as to why Wyatt would call Cito, because y'all were brothers, and brothers always share connections. Allegedly, right? That looks pretty long.
Did y'all hear that? Said he had a lot of connections. That's what I've been telling you all. That's right, Keisha, beloved. Where are the arrest warrants? Okay? They need to be locked up ASAP. I'm sorry. This is more than probable cause. Okay? Lillian said, yep, it's speaking volumes. Absolutely. Absolutely. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share. All crazy.
Folks, I've got to re-upload the video because I accidentally left something in it, so I had to re-edit it. But here we go. Let's try it again. This was the most bizarre good old boy cosplay I have ever seen in my life. Let's keep in mind that that Trump lawyer that they hired is from New York, and I have never seen a lawyer sit down with their clients and do an interview with them in the least professional attire I have ever seen, while also advertising another law firm on their hat. We all saw how weird this interview was, right? It was like a prison warden keeping checks on them. And not only was he doing the weird baseball signals throughout the interview, not only was he in the most defensive position out of anybody in this group, after I watched this interview, he kind of proved me right in that I think he's a bad lawyer who's using bullying tactics behind the scene, and that's what he's good at. Because did anybody else pick up on this?
About Morgan, Jax, and Warren, I'm not going to call them untruths or half-truths or falsehoods. I'm going to call it what it is, lies. Morgan, Warren, and Jax left the island at about 4:30 p.m. That's it.
Did anybody else pick up on that? That over and over again, he was specifically saying Morgan, Jax, and Warren, blah, blah, blah. They didn't do anything. They left the island at 4:30. If you're telling lies about them, you're in trouble. He's intentionally and purposely omitting everybody else that was on the boat, everybody else that was in the group that day. And that right there is very telling to me. Now, I personally do not see the logic in the lawyer advising these boys to do another interview, unless it's to try and threaten and intimidate the people that they're going to go after for defamation. Because they keep saying this over and over again. We're going to sue for defamation. We're going to bring these people in and we're going to sue them. And at one point, the lawyer even says this.
Morgan, if you lied about Jax, if you lied about Warren, we're going to get you. And you're going to be hauled into court. You're going to be held accountable. And it's going to be very painful. And what I would say to the people who have done that is, now's your chance. If you want to apologize and retract before you find yourself in court, you should probably do that now. Because if you don't do that, once you're in court, now you can't leave. You won't be able to get out of it. And we're not going to name names because there's some other folks who are doing that, and we want to be better than that. And I want to emphasize this, right? We're not here to guess. We're not here to speculate. We're only going to deal in facts, right? Here's the most important thing, right? We don't know how Nolan Wells died. No one here is saying we know. But what we do know is Morgan, Jax, and Warren had nothing whatsoever to do, with Nolan Wells's death.
Once again, being overly specific and giving away the game. Oh, if you lie about Morgan and Jackson Warren, we're going to haul you into court. We don't know anything, but Morgan, Jackson, Warren are innocent. But I thought he drowned. Aren't they all innocent? Isn't it all just a terrible accident? Notice how not once has anybody in any of these interviews said that this was just a tragic accident. And mind you, if they were actually being defamed, those letters would have been sent out. They wouldn't go and give an interview warning people, you better retract it or then we're going to come for you. As someone who has had several cease and desist letters sent to them, they don't warn you because cease and desist letters in themselves don't matter. They aren't anything. They are the warning. What was that weird fucking laugh they all had together? My bad, folks. I've got to read.
Okay, please make it all make sense. Okay, the scare tactics of it all. And I told you all, that's Trump's former attorney, and he uses, in my opinion, bullying tactics, okay, to get people to go ahead and just be quiet. When lawyers use legal pressure to silence critics, that's what he does, okay? That's what he does, because sometimes the most powerful weapon that an attorney has isn't evidence, it's fear. You see, when a client is being publicly criticized, an aggressive attorney such as himself may attempt to change the conversation, not necessarily by proving the criticism is wrong, but simply by continuing to talk about it feeling financially dangerous to some people, implying that you're lying, you're giving misinformation. This is defamation, okay? So basically saying, keep talking, and it's going to cost you. Okay, that's his tactic. Now, it can begin with a strongly worded cease and desist letter in some cases, and then come demands for retractions, threats of defamation litigation, warnings about enormous monetary damages, demands to preserve records, okay, like Ben Crump gave them, all right? Or communications emphasizing just how expensive defending a lawsuit could become. Now, some of those actions are perfectly legitimate legal advocacy, okay, to defend yourselves against criticism, especially things that are not true. But if someone actually publishes a damaging false statement of fact, an attorney has every right to defend their client's reputation. But in this case, he can't prove anything because it hasn't even gone up for review yet, okay? They haven't finished the investigation. So him saying all of this stuff is just nothing but theatrics and scare tactics. Please pay attention. Now, the concern arises when legal pressure is being used primarily to frighten people away from lawful speech, asking legitimate questions and having legit opinions, and reporting on criticism about matters of public concern. You see, that's when it becomes an issue, because that's exactly what he's doing. We all have a right to talk about this case. We have a right to ask questions, to voice our opinions, and to report on it, and even to be critical if we choose to. Okay? That's what we can do. So I find it all interesting. I find it all very interesting. And then, they have SLAPP, strategic lawsuit against public participation. Okay? They use that. That's the name associated with one version of the phenomenon, SLAPP. And, by the way, SLAPP doesn't necessarily have to be about winning the ultimate lawsuit. The pressure itself can accomplish something valuable to the person bringing it. Okay, so just imagine an ordinary content creator receiving a letter from a powerful law firm. Now, they might start thinking, can I afford to have a legal battle with these people? What if they sue me even if I'm telling the truth? And that can be very, scary for some people. So they might just stop talking about whatever it is they've been talking about. But in this case, I'm not going to stop talking. And none of us should. Because like I said, we have a right to ask questions. Okay, we have a right to speculate. I mean, even Sheriff Ledbetter was speculating, wasn't he? When he came out and said, there doesn't appear to be any evidence of foul play. Looks like just a simple accidental drowning. That was all speculation. He had not even begun the investigation process. So don't sit here and tell us not to speculate. Okay, please pay attention. And like I said, even if anyone did say something that isn't true, well, they haven't proven that anything wasn't true as of yet, because they haven't in fact proven that what they're saying is true. So how can they say that we're lying? They can't. Okay, that's what they can't do. And also, like I told you all, they don't want discovery. All right, because anytime there is a lawsuit, okay, specifically with civil litigation, there is the period of discovery. Okay, now we know they have discovery in criminal cases. but in civil lawsuits as well. And you know, you can be disposed. Like Al Sharpton said, bring it on. He's ready for it. Okay, so anyway, let's go to this last clip. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. Oh, and by the way, there was another man found hanging. Okay, another man found hanging. We're going to get into it. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance.
You said y'all are en route to the judge's house or from the judge's house? En route to the judge's house. That's 10-4. I keyed up on you. Appreciate it. 10-4.
32, finish up with whatever you got.
Okay, we already heard that. Someone sent me that before I played the other audio. Now let's go to this next clip. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance.
Him. That's when Warren started to bump his knee against Jax, and Jax all of a sudden switched up and started to defer away from his initial comment. Then the immediate deep sighs from Jax when asking the question once again, why aren't we in jail yet? We aren't geniuses. That to me is a huge giveaway, and I feel like Mr. Warren is going to break very soon. Something like that would eat anybody alive for the rest of their life.
That absolutely could be the case. That absolutely could be the case. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. Okay, we're about to be out of here. Now, there's just 2 more clips I want to show you all. And I think it's just 2. Hold on, let me just check. Now, listen to this guy. He is very upset about this case. Listen to what he says.
If this Nolan Wells situation taught us anything, is that don't let your kids go on trips with all white friends. If there's no other race going besides your kid and all white friends, that's a red flag. That's a no. And this doesn't just go out to the Black community. If you're Black, Hispanic, Asian, Indian, whatever, all of it. I don't care if you're brown, purple, yellow, whatever you are. Do not let your kids go on vacation anywhere with just all white kids. And even if there is other kids their race, first you got to make sure they're not whitewashed. Because if they're whitewashed, they're going to be on the white people side. So you got to make sure they're actually with it. They're cool with your kids, and they're going to back them up. Because like I said, if they're whitewashed, they're going to go with the white people.
He's talking about people like Trayston, clearly. Okay, Chelsea said, heard Nolan filmed a fight with Warren's brother. Yes, that is what they are saying, beloved. Now, I can't substantiate that, but in fact, they absolutely did say it. They absolutely did say that, okay? And thank you for your insight into the topic and your contribution to the channel. I appreciate you. Peace, love, and blessings. Now, Bass Snatcher says that was a racist thing for the guy to say. Well, I wouldn't call it racist. I would call it prejudice. Racism comes along with a system of oppression, okay? And only people who are a part of that system can oppress other people, and that wouldn't be him, okay? It would be the people that he was, in fact, talking about, beloved. So that all being said, yeah, I don't think that he was being racist, maybe prejudice. He's prejudging white people based on the fact that many people have gone missing when they were in the company of white people by themselves, and they were the only person of their own race. So that would be prejudice, okay? Just to correct you. Now, with that all being said, let's talk about this man that was found hung. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. Hold on, first let's talk about this man that was beaten down there in Mississippi.
And you see behind me was viciously stripped, beaten, and robbed after he entered a very popular Black-owned establishment in Mississippi yelling the N-word. Not only was he yelling the N-word, he was also throwing up what he called gang signs, mocking what he thought Black culture represents. After the man was asked to leave several times, first of all, this man walked into the bar already drunk. Okay. He was being loud, belligerent, bumping into people. He was going on for a few minutes before somebody actually asked him to leave. He refused to do so. So they ended up shoving him out the door. Now he's outside in the parking lot and everybody's attention is on him. All right. That's the guy that just got kicked out of the bar full of black people yelling out the N-word. He's throwing up gang signs, talking about this is what you guys represent. This is what you guys do. Obviously trying to pick a fight. And a fight is what he got. But he may have bitten off a little bit more than he could chew. Somebody eventually ends up taking a pole, hitting him in the head with it. He ducks for cover. Somebody else comes in, pushes him on the ground. And then a bunch of people just start stripping clothes off of him. All right. Beating him with the pole. And then they just take everything he had in his pockets, everything he had in his pants. It was out of here. Now the man's on the floor cowering down, trying to stop the blows from hitting his face. But he didn't do a good job because he ended up with a broken jaw. His eyes all busted up. He's in the hospital right now. All right. Now they're calling this a hate crime. Okay. And they're actually calling it a hate crime on the people that beat up the man. Okay. A lot of people on social media are saying, hey, this is the other way around. This man participated in something hateful first and he got the reaction that he was looking for. And, you know, this is Mississippi. So the racial tensions over there are a lot different than in the rest of the country. So this guy ended up beating up. Now they're looking for people and they shut down the club. The club is no longer operational. It's called CJ's Lounge. It was only open for about 3 months, but the police decided that this is a nuisance area. This is a nuisance spot. And the owner wasn't being cooperative with the police when they asked the owner for footage. They say, hey, listen, you guys are going viral. This man just got beat in front of your lounge. We need security footage so we can figure out what's going on. He refused to give it up. He refused to give it up. And like, there've been a bunch of stuff over there. Somebody like got pewed in his leg. There've been fights. They found firearms over there. Like they get a call to go out there every weekend. According to the police, they say they're out there every single weekend. And they've only been open for like a few months, apparently. So that's what's going on with CJ's Lounge. That's what's going on in Mississippi. A lot of people are very divided on this issue. What do you guys think? Let me know what you think about.
What I think is that I don't want to go to CJ's Lounge. It sounds ghetto. Okay, that's what I think. But why would he go in there talking crazy? And he got just what he paid for. Please pay attention. I don't know what is wrong with some people. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Now let's get into this because this was reported this morning. Police investigating man's death in downtown Raleigh as self-deletion. Okay, they think we're stupid. Okay, every one of these is a self-deletion. All right, please pay attention. A man's death in downtown Raleigh on Saturday is being investigated as self-deletion, according to the Raleigh Police Department. Now, medical staff and law enforcement responded to 318 South McDowell Street on Saturday, where a man was found hanging from a tree in a parking lot about a half block from Nash Square, according to a Raleigh Police Department news release. Now, despite life-saving measures, the man was pronounced dead at the scene, and there appears to be no foul play involved, according to the news release sent late Saturday night. Now, the death is being investigated as self-deletion, and the North Carolina Office of the Medical Examiner will conduct an investigation, according to the news release. Well, why don't they conduct an investigation first? Why do they always have to just come out and say that it looks like self-deletion? If that's the case, what are you doing an investigation for? You've already made your determination. In the news release, the Raleigh Police Department said it wanted to take a moment to acknowledge a disturbing post that is currently being shared regarding this investigation. They say, we understand that this loss may be deeply painful for those who knew and cared about the individual, according to a statement from the Raleigh Police Department. They say, we ask everyone to please be mindful of the family and friends who are grieving and to avoid sharing unverified information or speculation while investigators continue their work. No, we're not going to do that because they're already speculating. Okay, that's what they're doing. They're already sharing unverified information by saying that it looks like a self-deletion. You have not done your investigation. You have not done your due diligence. So don't tell us not to talk about unverified information or speculation. Okay, please pay attention. Now, the Raleigh Police Department has not responded as of 4 p.m. Sunday to a request for additional details about what indicates that this death is in fact an suicide and why foul play is not suspected. That's what they haven't done. And the News and Observer does not normally report on suicides nor the method of suicide, given research showing that news stories about suicide may lead to imitation. Now, the N&O is reporting on this case given the public location of this death, the significant public discussion, and the historic context of African Americans being publicly lynched and killed in North Carolina and South Carolina. They said yesterday an African-American male was found hanging from a tree, and the RPD, along with state and federal officials, are investigating. Now, this is what a Raleigh City Council member, Corey Branch, said on Facebook on Sunday. He says, I asked that we let RPD and SBI do the investigating and more information to come. North Carolina tracks violent deaths, including suicides, and found that there were nearly 1,600 reported suicides in 2023, the most recent data available. Now, the majority of these self-deletions among non-Hispanic African Americans, 63%, and they involve firearms, followed by hanging, 21.1%. I want y'all to pay attention. 21.1% of these people hung themselves. Was it from trees? I have several questions. More than half of the reported self-deletions between 2020 and 2024 in North Carolina were by firearms. 21.4% of the self-deletions were hangings, according to state data. This is all crazy. Okay, so anyway, that's the news for now. I want to thank you all for tuning in. Please like, share, subscribe. I'll be back later, so keep your notifications on. And if you have joined this channel, if you're subscribed to the channel and you have not been receiving your notifications, please double check and make sure that you're in fact still subscribed. With that all being said, thank you all for tuning in once again. Each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives. And also, if you missed the broadcast yesterday, please check it out at your convenience. Okay, so until next time, beloveds, peace.
Oh, you can't hide from yourself. You notice yourself. You can't hide from yourself. I know your mind going crazy. Yes, that's your conscience eating away at you. Told you to do, you know that we know it's not about race. Well, I wanna see justice prevail, because I know the hell you lying. The story don't add up. Subtract the evil grown folks that's hiding the truth. You can't hide from yourself. I know your mind going crazy. That's your conscience eating away at you. You can't hide from yourself. I see it in your face. You can't hide. I think you know your conscience wanna scream out loud. Them people lost their son, and you on the run. In your spirit, I hear it. God most high washed up that tide, and now you can't hide from yourself. No, not about, no, yeah, yeah. The ancestors speaking and they walking on your soul. You can't hide yourself. You know what was dead. The nightmares, the sleepless nights, that's gonna get worse. I see it in your face. Since you wanna get in front of camera, we know what you did last night or daylight. You can't hide from yourself. Your soul wanna be set free. Just tell the truth. Rest in power, Nolan. And set Carmelo free. God said you can't hide from yourself, but you can't hide.